This is Fresh Tracks Weekly. This week we are taking a break from our deeper dive, and instead we got the crew together to run through what we have going on this spring, talk about some plans for upcoming hunts. But that being said, we do still have a few news stories related to wildlife and public lands. In Montana, a bill to establish a wildlife highway crossing account passed out of the Senate and just needs Governor Gianforte's signature to be signed into law. The importance of wildlife highway crossings has been a central topic within western states over the last decade, but Montana has been lagging behind many of its neighboring states. Both Wyoming and Nevada have seen tremendous success with wildlife crossing structures that have been built along important migration routes for mule deer and pronghorn. A really interesting analysis in Nevada showed that crossing structures actually saved money when accounting for the reduction in wildlife vehicle collisions, including reduced injury, property damage, and insurance costs. So funding for this new account initially comes from a new specialty license plate through Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, which will provide a $20 donation for each license plate. Some are estimating that this could provide up to $160,000 a year, and while $160,000 might seem like a drop in the bucket given that highway crossing structures cost multiple millions of dollars to build, what that money can do is fund research and highlight key areas of need and support analysis like that one in Nevada showing that reducing wildlife vehicle collisions can actually save money. By conducting these studies, hopefully they can leverage those funds into different grants and other avenues of funding to complete the actual construction of those crossing structures. Anyway, hopefully they make a sweet looking license plate that people want to buy. In Montana, we have a ton of specialty plates that raise funds for various groups and organizations. A while ago, the #1 plate was one that fundraised for Miles City community projects, not necessarily because thousands of people wanted to support a small eastern Montana town, but because it was a sweet design on the license plate. So the key to fundraising through these license plates is having one that looks really cool. The best-selling ones continue to be the ones that have nice black and white designs. So hopefully FWP can come up with a sweet design to fund the highway crossing account. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers recently announced that they will be temporarily closing multiple recreation areas and visitor centers across North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and Nebraska due to limited staffing. This is another example of how firing or pushing out government employees can make it very difficult to keep certain operations going. The recent announcement includes the closure of multiple campgrounds, vault toilets, and visitor centers starting May 1st, along with reduced janitorial services at the recreation areas that will remain open. It's kind of hard for me to believe that the reduction in workforce is actually increasing efficiency, especially when most of these employees who perform those services are not high salary individuals, and in a lot of these cases, they are paid from fees collected at these campgrounds and facilities, not from taxpayer funds. President Trump recently signed an executive order to boost the commercial fishing industry by peeling back regulation and opening up previously protected areas. While commercial fishing interests have applauded the order, many environmental groups are concerned about what it could mean for the future of these fisheries. Ocean fisheries were overfished for years, serving as a clear example of thinking a resource is unlimited, only to later realize that it can absolutely be overutilized. Many fisheries will likely never return to what they once were. It's a classic tragedy of the common scenario where you have a shared resource that causes individuals to prioritize short-term gains at the expense of long-term sustainability and profitability. It has taken decades of monitoring and regulation to rein in the impacts of commercial fishing and to try to maintain harvest levels that are sustainable. Many areas are likely still depleting the resource. The new executive order gives Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick 1 month to identify, quote, the most heavily overregulated fisheries requiring action, and to take appropriate action to reduce the regulatory burden on them. Undoubtedly, there will be lawsuits over the deregulation, so we'll have to see how it all shakes out. The draft strategic plan for the U.S. Department of Interior has been released to the public, although it sounds like it was maybe supposed to remain private. Regardless, the plan outlines what the agency that encompasses the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service hopes to accomplish moving forward. The document largely reiterates what we've been seeing in recent weeks, which is a push to treat the nation's national resources like an asset on a balance sheet and find ways to boost oil, gas, and coal production, along with opening up land for housing development. Interestingly, the document also talks about raising revenue from grazing, timber, and mining, which we've talked about in the past as essentially being large subsidies for those industries and how it would be a good idea to increase those revenues. But later in the document, it contradicts itself by stating that the goal is to reduce the cost of grazing and other land uses. So it's a little unclear what the actual goal is. The document also calls for delisting some species on the endangered species list that have been recovered and streamlining the National Environmental Policy Act, though it doesn't go into detail how this this will be done either. Currently, the document is mostly a list of bullet points, and it's supposedly a leaked document draft, so things could certainly change in the future. In Alabama, a set of bills are moving forward that would prohibit the state from killing, testing, or stopping the transfer of captive cervids due to disease. The only exception allowing them to test transferred animals would be if CWD had previously been detected within that farm. The bill further restricts the state's regulatory power by saying that it can't prohibit the transfer of deer if it has tested negative from CWD from a live test, or if it's been genomically bred to resist the disease, or if it comes from a double-fenced facility. It's also important to note that live tests for CWD have not been approved by the Department of Agriculture. One of the arguments in favor of these bills is that the state government is overreaching into private deer farms and that it doesn't affect the public, but the opposition points out how captive deer farms have been linked to CWD outbreaks and fences often fail, making it easy for the disease to be spread to wild deer. Really, this bill just hamstrings the state's ability to monitor and control for the spread of CWD and poses a threat to the wild deer population. The bills in question are House Bill 509 and Senate Bill 323. Both continue to move forward. If you live in Alabama and care about this, you can reach out to your legislators and let them know how you feel. A new study in California is making headlines suggesting that grizzly bears could thrive in the state and support a population of over 1,000 bears. The study draws from a large body of literature to highlight prime habitat, challenges, and potential sources for reintroduction. They identified 3 areas in the state as potential recovery areas. Number 1 being the Klamath Mountains, Trinity Alps, and the surrounding areas in the northwest quarter of the state. The second being the Sierra Nevadas, primarily the southern part of the range. And the third being the Traverse Ranges, primarily the Los Padres backcountry. They also noted that bears could be sourced from the Northern Rockies or British Columbia. Several news outlets have been highlighting the significance of the grizzly bear to the native tribes in the state and the fact that it's the state animal, even being featured on the state flag. I'm really curious to see how this plays out because people often joke that California residents love to support the idea of grizzly bear reintroduction despite currently not having them in their state. So it'll be interesting to see if residents and policymakers back it up and support a real plan to bring them back. All right, with that, we're jumping into our deeper dive where we're just going to be talking about hunting and fishing and what we have going on this spring. Well, guys, thanks for joining for Fresh Tracks Weekly.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on.
Yeah,
Same.
what's the deal, Jace? Hey, you've been on
Been
vacation
busy,
for a month?
I guess.
2 months? What about you, Blake? You've just been over there editing. That's all you get to do.
Yeah,
anymore.
just sit in front of a computer all day. I'm not complaining about that, though, whatsoever. I'm very happy to do that.
That being said, everybody's got to get out and do some fun stuff in the last few weeks. It's finally springtime, and we've been talking a lot of doom and gloom, I guess, in the last few episodes, which, I feel is good to cover a lot of that stuff, but we figured we'd talk about some spring updates, some fun stuff that's going on. Been out hunting a little bit. It's turkey season, bear season. Jace has been shooting rifle matches like crazy.
Yep, trying to shoot a lot.
Randy's been podcasting nonstop for the last few days.
Yeah, I'm talked out. I don't have much left to say.
No? But no, I don't know. I was curious what everyone's plans are. I got to get out and go turkey hunting last week, so that was pretty fun.
And you get one?
No, I can't shoot, apparently.
Oh.
I shot at a turkey. I did not recover a turkey, so that was sad.
Huh.
But you were with Kara when she got hers. So
Kara
you guys
killed the
tag
turkey,
teamed
yeah.
one.
I got to have Kara along to actually get something on the ground. Killed a nice tom, so that was pretty sweet.
Nice.
Most people know that's why you bring Kara with, because you want
for
to kill
sure.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jason and I are going turkey hunt next week, aren't we, Jace?
Yeah, I'll be following you around while you turkey hunt.
No, you'll be telling me what to do.
I'm not much of a turkey hunter, so I don't know how much
I've
help I'm
shot
going to
2
be.
turkeys in my life, Jace, which is testimony that there are 2
one more than me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, that's testimony that there are 2 idiots in every species. The fact that I shot 2 of them. But, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the plan
we'll
for
make it
that
work.
one? That one's I'm excited for the story of that hunt.
Yeah. One of my conservation mentors who passed a few years ago, Bob Gibson, lived here in Bozeman. Little guy. He's just a fun guy. Worked with Forest Service his whole life and was on the board of the Elk Foundation, and then saw me one time doing a public thing on public lands, and he came up and he's like, "Newbert, coming to your office tomorrow. I got something for you." He went home and built a little turkey call for me and brought it to my CPA firm. And so I just thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to talk about all the stuff Bob did in the public land space and try to shoot a turkey with that call I've never used before.
That'll
So
be cool.
You'll get it done.
Yeah, it's very.
Jay says we're going to get it done.
I hope so. It's a cool call. It's
Yeah.
and a cool story. So,
Yeah, Blake is the one who pushed for this. Like, we got to make that. That's a sweet story.
yeah,
So-
absolutely. I've never seen a call like that. I've seen, like the long walks calls, but I've never seen one so condensed in 2 pieces. And
Yeah.
so it just intrigued me by the look of it. And then there's a great story behind it. So
Yeah, I reviewed that 2-hour interview we did of him
Mm-hmm.
in 2017, I think it was. And there's a lot of nuggets in there for not just a turkey hunt, but for a lot of other really cool
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
He had all sorts of interesting stories. And
Yeah.
you guys going over his journal, like, because he journaled everything.
Every hunt from
Like,
age
went through
14 to...
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
awesome.
To go back and look at that stuff.
Yeah, and he drew a mountain goat tag every time he applied for one for the first 4 times, he said.
Sick.
It was-
No
This would
one
be a lot
else-
better odds to get a mountain goat tag.
Yeah, no one else was applying, or like, what's the story there? Why
I
did he draw
don't
so many
really
times?
know what the deal was.
I feel like he probably was still really lucky.
Yeah, his first one, he said that he went in halvesies with some guy or something, and because neither of them could afford the full tag price, and so if whoever drew got to shoot it, but had to split it with the other, split the meat with the
That's
other
hilarious.
guy. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see if there's any turkeys though on it.
I'm sure they're out there.
If not, we'll figure out something else. I don't collect antlers. I suck at turkey hunting, so it better be a really good story.
Yeah. Blake was out turkey hunting too. You
I
gotta get
was,
out.
yeah. I was out this weekend. Was close, but so I was hunting some private land. Mainly because my wife Lucy is 36 weeks pregnant. So I've been trying to like stay close and
Yeah.
like part of that is not going out and being 2-hour walk away from the truck. So got some I got some private permission and was hunting that, and the birds were on the other side of the private line, so I couldn't, get any closer to them.
Well, you need to call them over there.
I tried. It was a tom, 2 jakes, and 3 hens, and those birds were not going to leave those hens.
Jake.
Yeah.
So what's the deal? Can I shoot a jake when we're over there?
Oh, yeah.
Can I shoot him out of the tree?
Legally, yes.
Go for it.
In Montana, a lot of states it's illegal,
Well,
but in
I'm-
Montana,
I'm just
as
telling
far
you
as
right
I can
now.
tell, reading the regulations, it's not illegal.
Fair game, as long and shooting light.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. Usually got about 5 to 10 minutes to work with. 'Cause
Yeah.
They're usually flying up right around.
What
shooting.
about if they just light out of that tree and land on the ground? Can you be right there and poleaxe them?
Oh yeah, that's like the holy grail of turkey hunting. That's like super ethical.
Yeah, because then you shoot it when it hits the ground. You get to pick it up and go back to the truck and go to the diner and get some breakfast.
If I shot out of the tree, I'd do the same
You
thing.
can do the same thing. That's
Yeah,
true.
no, but it's like as soon as it flies down, then it's okay. But yeah, if you shoot it out of the tree, then it's not.
Because you
okay.
guys told me, don't be shooting one out of the tree. We'll get a ton of grief over that.
I mean, like we've talked about this a bunch in the past. Turkey hunters have like, I feel like some of the most like the ethics that are involved in turkey hunting, or just like the cultural aspects of turkey hunting, are some of the strongest. I feel like
Really? Wow.
in terms of like either calling them in, or like not using decoys. Reaping is very taboo.
What?
Reaping, so
What's
that's
that?
like where if you use like a fan to like lure a turkey in. I mean, largely it's extremely unsafe on public
I would
land.
think so.
Because you're just holding a fan and like hiding behind it and going. So yeah, that's a
Okay.
topic we don't need to get into. But it's just like
All right.
people get fired up about just
For
like
sure.
how you kill a turkey.
Well, I'm
And
just
so, like,
telling
if
the
you
audience right now watching this, if I see a turkey and it's legal and Jay says that one's legal, I'm shooting him. I don't care if it's a wing shot, if he's in a tree, if he's on a stump.
Well, the thing is that
Or
turkeys are
whatever.
extremely tasty.
know.
Absolutely.
And Montana, we're lucky that we can get a lot of turkey takes too. And so
Yeah.
like whenever I'm in like a region where you can shoot two, like jakes are totally fair game in my mind, but which is taboo for some turkey hunters for sure.
Yeah, I feel like being in Montana has changed my outlook on the rules to abide by for turkey hunting, because in Indiana you can only shoot one, and so it was
Yeah.
like you only had one chance. So if you shot it on opening day, you're done for the rest of the season. But here it's kind of like there's a jake. It looks pretty tasty. You can shoot it, and then I can go, to another region and find another bird and have more fun.
Yeah.
So I've I've strayed away from those, like,
I feel like it's a
rules.
good way to like prolong your season.
For sure.
And then also like, again, in Montana, we're fortunate, like turkeys have expanded like crazy. So like compared to even when I was a kid, like we have so many more turkeys, like the resources plentiful right now, which is sweet. Like there's a lot of turkeys out there.
Well, you got turkey tags, Jace?
Mhm.
I mean, if we get overrun and there's a stampede
Oh yeah,
coming,
I'll help
then
out where I can.
Yeah, I'll hand you the shotgun and y'all grab a camera.
We'll do a quick swap.
Yeah. Yeah, Marcus and Michael did that a couple times.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Anyhow, that's what I'm doing next week.
Heck
It's
yeah.
what I'm going to be doing next weekend, too.
Yeah?
Chasing more turkeys.
I thought
Yeah.
you were going to say you were going to be at the baby delivery.
No, we still have
You got-
5 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's exciting
So-
now. It's coming right up.
Yeah, it is. Jace's wife, Chloe's been helping design our nursery. So
nice.
that's coming along. We had a chair delivered today and getting some painting done. And then it's on to like building the crib and decorating. And
Wow.
then it's a waiting game. So
Oh boy.
Well, don't let an accountant design the nursery. I just went down and got a crib at the used-a-bit shop and rolled it into the corner of the apartment, and that was a nursery.
good to go.
That's what Matthew got.
Yeah.
That's funny.
He's never been the same because of it.
Traumatized. Jace, you've been shooting a bunch.
Yeah, trying to.
Which, what all have you gone into lately?
Yeah, like I've shot about I think 5 rifle matches this year so far and practicing most weeks. And now though bear season has kicked off, so I shot a rifle match this Saturday and the next day went bear hunting. So I got one day out of that, and then
See any bears?
no bears. It looked pretty good. I think that spot that I checked out is gonna be popping bears out here shortly. And I
It's
was gonna
early.
go. That's the thing. That's the
But-
earliest I've ever actually gone out for
Yeah.
bears too. I usually wait till May, but I figured I had the day to go out and check some stuff out, so I went and did that. But this weekend, I might opportunistically hunt turkeys. So I drew a pretty decent rifle elk tag, or archery too, but good elk tag that's in an area that I want to go explore, and it's a good place to go look for elk sheds, turkeys, and all that stuff. So I'm just going to go out there this weekend and
Nice.
see what I can find. Maybe find a turkey to shoot, but definitely won't be focusing on turkeys. But if I hear them, I'll go after them. But so that'd be cool.
You're going to Alaska on a bear hunt sometime.
That's
right?
correct. Yeah. Couple weeks, I think mid-May. So coming up real quick. My dad has a Prince of Wales black bear tag, so I'm going to go help him out on that hunt. So
Cool.
that's
Well,
exciting too.
I usually leave a few when I'm leave Alaska. There's usually still plenty around. So you
Yeah.
going bear hunting, Marcus?
So I was not planning on it once I tore my patellar tendon.
Yeah.
I was gonna okay, this is not the year for bears, but I don't know. Recovery's going like
No,
really
don't-
well.
Don't risk it.
So I went turkey hunting and I trekking poled around. As long as I got my like trekking pole crutches, I probably shouldn't throw a bunch of weight on my pack though. Everyone keeps telling me not to do that.
probably
So
not.
I
Your-
should probably listen. I
Your
don't know.
bear from Montana, was that,
Oh, that one
2
would've been
years?
fine, yeah.
2 years ago? Well, you didn't carry any of it out.
No, yeah,
Rocky carried it for
the
you.
whole
So,
thing, yeah. I just needed.
well, I guess.
But Rocky also tore his patellar tendon, so I was gonna rely on him to pack a bunch of my stuff around. So now it's all Kara.
I don't know
Kara has to
anyone,
carry both of our stuff.
I don't know anyone in the last 30 years who's torn a patellar tendon, and you and your buddy Rocky, your hunting buddies, same winter, they both blow it out.
It's wildly
That
So
is
bizarre.
improbable because I mean, like at least at the rehab place I'm going to, like ACLs to patella, it's like
100 to
they
1.
see like I think they said they had 2 patellar tears this winter, like in the whole thing, and
Wow.
like the weekend that I tore mine, they had 6 new ACL
Yeah.
like injuries come in. I guess skiing town, Bozeman, a lot of people are just tearing their knees apart. But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and you're saying like the two like biggest culprits of patellar tendon tears are skiing and basketball,
Mm-hmm.
and you were skiing and Rocky was
was
playing
playing
basketball.
basketball, yeah.
It's
Getting
Unfortunate.
old, turning 34, and then your tendons just start popping and tearing. It's just awful. Yeah.
And my joke was I do both of those. I ski and play basketball, but at much lower levels than Rocky and Marcus.
I don't do either of them.
Well, I don't think Rockies played basketball in a long time. I think
Yeah.
that was what they were trying to be athletes when they haven't been athletes in a while.
Yeah, there's a moral to that.
That'll get you
story.
hurt sometimes.
Yeah.
Yup.
Huh. Well, walleye fishing will be starting up in June. So
Yeah.
if you guys see any of me, it's because Kim got tired of me and said, "Let's go home where we don't have to be locked in a cabin together or in
Yeah.
a boat together."
There you
Yeah,
go.
we missed Michael's not here right now. He was going to give us the fishing update, but I don't know. Maybe we'll have to get him like separate on camera to get the fishing corner back in here. We used to have the fishing corner.
Yeah. What's his
Well,
problem?
Michael's been working remote half the time.
I know,
and so
but-
then like every time when it comes time to shoot this fishing corner, he's not here. So
Well,
we
tell
should
him to
have-
shoot it at home.
we did have him do that a few times
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
We need to do that. We'll bring the fishing instead of the corners. It's going to be like
Tell him to sit in his
the
boat
fishing
out in
pond.
the yard or something.
yeah, he's got a pond out back. He can go do his fishing
Exactly,
corner
yeah.
from there. All right, that's happening. We're going to force him to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just trying to weasel out.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna put up with
We're just gonna insert it right now.
that. Michael's fishing report.
All right, what's up, my Fresh Tracks family? Michael P here. Just wanted to give you guys an update on what's been going on in my life the past couple months. Been shooting a bunch. We shot a match last weekend, me and Jace did, and got absolutely smoked. It was tough conditions, high winds, tough course of fire. But besides that, been doing some fishing stuff. A lot of warm water species this time of the year. I kind of go into full bass and walleye mode here in Montana. And then I'll transition back into fly fishing and doing stuff for trout here in a couple weeks, probably once it warms up a little bit more. But it's been a ton of fun. I've logged 25 days this year so far. Been just traveling all across the state, searching for bass. And then also been golfing a bunch, which is kind of new to me this year, and kind of a little bit of last year has been I've been playing a bunch of golf. So one of the things I've been doing is trying to hit the golf ball onto that island out there. Been doing it almost every single day. So thanks for watching Fresh Tracks Weekly. We'll get back to the boys talking, and I'll see if I can hit it on the island here. Usually it's a shank, so I will say that, but let's see if I can do it. That's way short. Hey, have a good Friday.
That was fantastic. Great job, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
Or are we gonna have Kim give the fishing report?
That would be
Yeah.
good if you could get Kim to give the fishing report.
Most people don't even think I'm married because they've never seen Kim.
Yeah.
Has Kim done any fishing yet this year? No.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be much of a report at this point.
She stays pretty tight in the circle
Okay.
of people there of how the fishing is
Yeah.
at whatever place. So she might, but she's pretty tight-lipped about it too. So. Michael, he's not that tight-lipped.
Yeah, I mean, he'll give the generalities. He's not going to tell you exactly where to go, but
And then I am
actually-
going to go shoot an NRL match.
Oh, yeah.
Jason. You better coach me up.
I mean, I'll do my best, but I think you'll be well taken care of. But I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to be.
that's
fun.
coming up
That'll be
quick.
a humbling
I need to
experience.
start practicing too for that. That's
I don't even have a rifle to practice with yet.
not good.
That's a little.
You want to borrow
nerve-wracking,
mine?
but,
I'm going to use Kara's because Kara's is more accurate than mine by a little bit. So, but if you want to use mine,
I might have to borrow it, Marcus, just so I get the hang of it.
yeah.
Oh, well. We'll see how it goes. Loophole
It'll be
might
good.
fire me. And be like, hey, that's all the better you shoot. We don't need you on our team.
I mean, you always have the fact that it's your first one, so you can just use that as your excuse.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Definitely. I'm
Yeah.
already looking for those excuses for that's excuse number one. Rookie.
But if
Karen
you
and
also
I-
do really well, it's beginner's luck.
There you go. Trust me, if I do well, it'll be beginner's luck.
Karen and I got last place last year, so we can only go up from there. So, I mean, if I
Well, no,
still
you
get
mean-
last place, I'd be like, well, there's still room to improve. But hopefully I can get, like, second from last.
This is going to be your second match.
This will be the second
Yeah.
one. But I'm just going to shoot this one as a, like, alone, not as a team.
Gotcha.
So we'll see.
I'm shooting it with
Oh.
a ringer, John Pinch. So I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
Who wins like most every match that he goes to.
Yeah, I
So I
told
think
him
you got a
John-
pretty good chance of, yeah.
Yeah, I told him, I said, I hope you're ready for a boat anchor. I was like, don't worry.
This match will be really telling how good John Pinch actually is.
How much can he top in, like as a spotter? Like he's gonna have to give you all the wind calls and the corrections and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's all
That's what he
as long
told
as
me.
you can, read his data and perform, should be perfectly fine, right?
Yeah. Well, I told him I'm showing up with my Howa that I hunt with. He's like, send it to me. So I did. We'll see what it looks like when he's all done with it.
All right.
Yeah. Well, he'll be a wealth of knowledge regardless in all things shooting. And I think we'll be able to come away from that event all better shooters and go into this hunting season pretty sharpened up. I like to think so.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, it has been like eye opening just in the handful of matches I've shot. Just like it makes me realize like what my real limits are,
Yeah.
because I was often overestimating what I was capable of, and it just makes me a better shot too. But yeah, it'll be fun. But then you guys are doing a bear hunt, right? This year?
Oh, yeah. Me and Dustin and Lyle from Mountain Tough, we're doing a bear hunt.
Sweet.
They sent me the coordinates. I'd prefer to like be dropped in there or something.
Nice. Well, it's called Mountain Tough, like.
Well, yeah, but
So you gotta like showcase Mountain Tough if you're gonna hunt with the Mountain Tough guys.
I already told them I'm bringing llamas if we're going that far back in there. So you tough guys, you walk. I'm not. I mean, you look at all the gear we carry to film things. I'm not hauling that in on my back.
Well, aren't we going? You guys are going lightweight though for this one, right? A little bit for gear.
They might be. I'm not.
Well, I meant like in camera gear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
I guess
you
Nate's
got-
filming.
You got chargers and
Yeah.
you got blocks. You got
It adds up.
yeah. So
We'll be good.
yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've been over at the gym there working out, and I'm not all that excited about those waypoints they sent me. But I asked Lyle, I'm like, "What's the deal with hunting bears here? I think we need avalanche beacons if we're going in there." Yeah, it's Dustin. He said he likes every hunt to be a little bit of a workout. I'm like, looks like it.
Wow.
So if I don't survive it, that's why.
Well, that's where the big bears live, right?
I'm gonna go back there and see probably nothing but sows with cubs or something.
Or just a bunch of snow and then
That's
there's no
probably-
green grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a point of diminishing returns usually in the spring with how
How far?
far and high you go. So
Yep.
gotta weigh that out.
I know. That's why I'm bringing llamas.
That'll be fun though. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. So I think between now and middle of June, we'll all be out of town when we find out we drew sheep tags and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm drawing at least 2 sheep tags
There
this
we go.
year.
That's
I
exciting.
haven't drawn one in 36 years. I'm gonna get 2 in 1 year.
There you go. Perfect. I'm like a little worried about my odds of drawing a goat tag this year.
I'm worried about it,
because
too.
I have max points in Montana for mountain goat, and like I've decided like for no real good reason that I really want to hunt in like a couple of the units that are the absolute best draw odds. And I'm like, I've just made up my mind that that's what I want to do, but they're the best draw odds because they're really tough hunts. And I have a broken knee, so it's just like, do I apply this year or
man.
do I apply for somewhere easier? But I think I'll be all right. I think I'm gonna be ready, so I think I'm just gonna go for it and apply for it. We'll see.
Cool.
But it's just like it just feels like it's gonna happen because
Because
of my knee.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, here's a mountain goat tag. Have fun.
I didn't apply for any goat tags. I'm done goat hunting.
You're not even gonna apply. Well, you're still on your way, I guess. Probably,
Yeah, but
or you're
even in
close.
the other states
Yeah.
where I was on the list and trying, it's like, nah,
Yeah,
you ain't doing it.
you got 2, so that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
two is plenty.
Yeah.
I don't need another one. In fact, if I want to hunt down a mountain goat hunt, I'd probably give it to you guys.
I like that idea.
I'll let you guys flip coins,
Yeah.
or paper, rock, scissors. Or something. But,
Yeah, and well, yeah. What else is Jace drew a sweet tag? No one else has drawn anything too crazy, right? I guess meaning you have whitetail tags in Idaho, but
Yeah.
nothing too like it was a.
yeah,
I think they probably sell them over the counter.
if I draw a tag this year, I'll be surprised given what I applied for. I've been swinging. I'm like
Yeah.
Babe Ruth in it this year. I'm gonna have a lot more strikeouts than I am home runs this year. But
That's, but we're fortunate to live in Montana. We can just
yes,
turns out we can elk hunt for a long time, like archery and rifle, and now muzzleloader too. So yeah, we're pretty spoiled.
most states when you don't draw your limited entry tag, like I didn't, even though I had 90% chance, I still get to go elk hunting.
Oh yeah, that's wild that you didn't. Yeah, you had a pretty good odds at drawing and didn't draw.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever not drawn that tag when I put in for it. But oh well,
Man.
it's all good. I gotta hunt the general units. Twist my arm.
Yeah, I mean, oh no. Some of the biggest bulls still get killed in general units
know.
every year. So
Sure.
it's like,
And it's always that reminder to me, and like you said, Mark, it's just how lucky we are when we live in states like Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, where you can just, as a resident, go buy your elk tag and go.
oh, for sure. Yeah,
That's-
very fortunate.
That's when I travel and do shows in other states, it's a reminder to me of just how lucky we are in some of these states that have resident over-the-counter opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm taking advantage of it.
for sure. Yeah, and we can shoot, 5 turkeys in Montana?
What?
I believe so. During the spring season.
Oh yeah, and if you want to add in fall season,
5?
you can. I think you can go up to 9 probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, fall season has a lot of tags.
Yeah, 'cause there's a lot of hen tags in
Yeah.
parts of the state.
Huh, I didn't know that. I
So-
think 1 or 2 will work for me. That's all I got worried about. Kim's already got the chicken and dumpling recipe out. She's
nice.
like, because I thought she makes these dumplings that are to die for. I'm like, you should try that with a wild turkey one time. She's like, you haven't shot one for a long time. So,
I feel like that's the wild turkey's been the way to get my wife to try more wild game
yeah.
because it's such a good tasting bird and it looks like chicken.
Oh yeah, it's
when
just
it's cut up.
as long as you don't overcook it, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. Like it's just like any other white meat. I don't know,
Exactly.
white bird.
Yeah, a lot of chicken recipes are now wild turkey
Oh,
recipes.
for sure. Yeah. I feel like you should try to kill one just however, Jake, off the road, just out of the roost, whatever. And then so once you get that, you get your turkey meat, then you can try to do a legit
Be a purist.
with Bob's call. Try to call one in with his
Okay.
call. I mean, you should call one in with his call the whole time, but
Yeah.
if it's not working, then you just go sneak up on one and
What
shoot
happens
it.
if you run one over? Do you got to get that salvage tag
I don't
thing
know.
going?
I don't
Actually,
know.
I don't think you can't. I think it's only deer, elk, antelope, and moose.
Huh.
I saw one on the highway on my way home the other day.
Really?
I was like, I wonder if I can grab that, but it probably
I
been
feel like
there
you'd have
for a
to get
while.
lucky to get one in the right condition too, if it got hit, because it just seems like a higher chance of it. Because
Pretty
even
mushed.
some roadkill deer we've looked at, it's like there's a lot of bloodshot on that thing. There's not going to be a ton of salvageable. That being said, I've had 2 really good roadkill salvages, so that was almost 100% yield.
Wow, nice.
But,
Well,
dude, that's an episode we should do.
what's that?
Roadkill salvage episode.
There you
Just
go.
drive around and
New
one up.
road hunting.
All right. They hit like a deer a week out going out to my house.
oh yeah,
I'll just throw one in the back of Kim's CRV the next time I see it.
yeah.
That'd go over real good. Be my luck it'd come to life and
Oh.
start biting me in the back of the neck or something. But speaking of whitetail, I'm eating whitetail again tonight. That Wyoming whitetail that I shot, Jace, that thing
Yeah.
is spectacular.
Nice.
I've been mowing on that pretty heavy.
That's great.
Just ain't gonna last that long though. But it's
Well,
all right.
Go shoot some turkeys.
I'll
And a
have, to
bear.
switch, I'll have to switch over to poultry here if I
Yeah.
shoot a turkey.
Well, thanks guys for joining in and giving the update.
Yeah.
That's a
course.
nice little positive spin on Fresh Tracks Weekly this week. It's kind of fun to just switch it up every now and then. It's good to
Yeah.
keep up on all the public land issues. There's a lot right now, but yeah.
Yesterday I met with that group from DC that was in the
Yeah.
office, and I just decided I'm not talking about DC stuff this week. So I'm glad we're talking about bear hunting and
Yeah.
shooting and turkeys and whatever else. Having babies.
Yeah, having babies.
Hope it goes well, Blake.
Yeah, thank you.
But that being said, we'll probably be back at it next week.
Yeah, next
Yeah.
Congress is back in session starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
So nothing's safe if they're in session. So.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Yep.
you.
See ya.
Yeah.